Welcome to our weekly Forex forecast, and this is for trading on December 14th to the 18th, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we will start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of the news here, not a ton of red news till later in the week. So we do have a lot of news, just not the critical ones to start the week off here. So in terms of the major stuff here, we do have Wednesday. We're looking at PMI numbers. PMI numbers are always important because they're precursors to retail sales. So these PMI numbers are expected to be less than the previous ones because as we have seen, everybody's kind of going into these shutdowns or at least reduced capacity stuff. And because of that, we are expecting, because of the various lockdowns around the world, I should say, we are expecting the PMI numbers to be lower because nobody's really purchasing a whole lot of stuff at this point. So if the numbers are even lower than expected, that would be negative for our euro here. We also have more OPEC meetings going on. So with the OPEC meetings, if they are able to come to an agreement in terms of production. So the concern is how much each country is producing. So if they want to increase production, that would be negative. And if there are concerns in regards to, or arguments in regards to the production quotas, that would be a problem too. So overall, we'll have to see, it will have a direct impact on the price of oil. And as well, excuse me, we have retail sales numbers from the US as well as PMI numbers from the US as well. The main thing for Wednesday will be the Fed statement here. We have FOMC at this point not looking to see an interest rate cut. However, the commentary now, or commentary is what we'll have to focus on. At this point, we have not seen the stimulus bill, although they're getting closer to it. At least they're talking about it. So that's a positive thing. So Fed is likely to kind of put the focus on the government providing support rather than them providing support. But they did say that the interest rates are going to continue to stay low into 2023, I believe Fed had said. And if we see similar comments, then that would be negative for the US dollar. We also have monetary policy statement here from Swiss National Bank, as well as from UK on Thursday here. So Wednesday and Thursday are likely to be volatile here. Both of these, with Bank of England, again, the focus will be what happens with the Brexit now. They still don't have an agreement at this point, and it is it's the 11th hour at this point. We are almost into the holidays, so they need to reach an agreement. So expect volatility around pound in general because of the Brexit negotiations. So if there is no agreement in place, we are likely to see problems with the pound here. So keep that in mind. But because of that pressure, there is likely to be more comments in regards to Brexit, and also more volatility because of that, because we're likely to hear the back and forth comments that will create a lot of volatility in the market. So if you are trading pound, please be aware of that. We also have employment numbers here, non-farm numbers for Canada as well. So this will be important here because we may see, if we see higher than anticipated number of unemployment claims getting passed here, that would be negative for the US dollar. So US dollar has been getting hit as it is. These poor numbers can have more of a negative impact. And then on Thursday as well, or going into Friday, I should say, we have monetary policy statement from Japan as well. They're already at negative interest rates, so not expecting anything in terms of the interest rates. But again, they have talked about providing more support, monetary policy support. And if that's the case, we hear similar comments like that. It will be negative for Japanese yen, which means yen crosses are likely to go up in that case. So overall, main thing here would be our central banks. We have 3 central banks between Wednesday to Friday. So volatility will be the name of the game here. All right, so let's go on to our charts here. We'll start off with euro dollar. So euro has been trading in this range here, but it's holding the support level here. So the bias this week is neutral. What could happen is if it holds above the support, we could see it go higher. So it's really at this point, we are looking to see which direction it wants to break out in. As we can see from here, if it does go through the support, so we had a similar case here as well. We saw price go through all the way into the resistance, so we could see the next move higher if it goes through here. But on the flip side, because we have all this Brexit volatility and problems with the coronavirus, what could happen is it could reject the high and then we are looking for a drop. So at this point, it's holding. It's holding this support level. As long as it stays above the support level, the chances of it going higher actually increase. But once it breaks through the support, then I'm looking for a move back lower here. So neutral at this point. We'll just have to see, does it break through the resistance? In that case, we will head all the way into the top here. Or does it hold? If it holds below the resistance, then we're looking for a move back. So neutral bias at this point. I'm going to keep both of these my support resistance lines here. Whichever direction it breaks in, we'll follow that during our daily analysis. Pound here, pound has been back and forth as can be expected because of the Brexit related uncertainty. At this point, we did see the price drop here because of not reaching an agreement. So right now, we see that price is into this strong support resistance level. It's struggling with that, just like we had this drop here. We have a similar drop here, but does not mean we will actually see a turnaround. And that largely due to the uncertainty around Brexit. If we didn't have the Brexit, then we'd be looking for a drop here because we have a bearish engulfing candle. We'd be looking for a drop. So generally, this is what we would expect based on the move there. But because of the Brexit, if they are able to reach an agreement, then we are likely to see a move higher. As soon as they reach an agreement or we hear comments about them getting closer to an agreement or reaching an agreement, pound is likely to shoot up. So keep an eye on that. This is going to be extremely volatile here over the next couple of weeks. The longer it takes for them to reach an agreement, the more volatility we're likely to see. But any sort of agreement being reached will be positive for British pound. So right now, I would say negative just based on that, but please be aware that the uncertainty can push it higher. So right now, bearish bias just based on technicals. Target here is 1.2900, just with caution there. Aussie here, Aussie looking quite strong. As we can see, price is already heading towards the resistance level that we had here from our previous analysis. So this is looking bullish. Price held above the support resistance level here. So this is what we have. It's holding above right now. So bias is bullish, looking for a further move higher here. First target will be 0.7620. And then above that, we are looking at 0.7670. So bullish bias here for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, this one has been trading in a range here as well. Price is into the support resistance level. It still hasn't broken the resistance level. However, it is holding above the previous level here. So in this case, as we can see, this is being held here. It went and tested it. Now it's holding, so it still looks bullish. Next target is 0.7150, and then above that we're looking at 0.7220. So bullish bias here for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here, this one as well. A lot of the crosses this week were sideways. So here we are into support. This is overall, the trend is bearish here. It broke through this support resistance level. It's still holding, but this week's candle close is neutral. So this is similar to our euro. If it doesn't go through, we're likely to see a reversal here. But because it's holding, it could just do one of these and do a continuation move, or we may just see a pullback and then a continuation move. So right now it is not clear, so we'll just have to wait for the price to show us the way. So right now bias is neutral, and same thing here. I'm going to leave some of my support resistance levels to see which direction it wants to continue in. So right now bias is neutral for this. Okay, euro pound here. Euro pound. This one's been all over the place here as well. As we can see, price is still trading in a big range here, and a lot of volatility in euro pound this week, of course, because of Brexit negotiations. Euro has been stronger compared to pound because they haven't been able to reach an agreement. As soon as they reach an agreement, we are likely to see reversal of that, pound getting stronger compared to euro, and we are likely to see a turnaround here. So right now, still neutral to bullish here. First target is 0.9230 and then 0.9290 back into the support resistance level. But it's still overall trading in a range, hence neutral. So neutral to a slightly bullish bias here for euro pound. Euro Swiss franc here, this one as well, just going sideways here. It's been stuck in this big range for quite some time. Last week we were looking for a drop, we got that, and now it's right into this support level, and it's struggling with that. So right now, neutral to bearish bias, still trading within this range. So we may get a move back towards the support level here. Bias is neutral for Euro Swiss franc. Pound Swiss franc, a lot of volatility. As we can see, it has been back and forth here. Pound taking a hit with the Brexit negotiations. Overall, this is still in a range once again. And here we are. Bias is bearish. I'm looking for price to move back towards the bottom of the support, 1.1600. Dollar Swiss franc here. This one is also sideways here into the bottom. We have a neutral candle close. So we are seeing a lot of these neutral candles this week. That means the market is just waiting to see which direction to go. So there are a lot of opposing forces in the market at the moment. We have concerns around coronavirus. Then we have all the stimulus that is being provided by the various governments. So overall, looking interesting here. It just market doesn't know which direction to go in, and when the market starts to wait, either it's basically gearing up for another run higher, or we're looking for a reversal. And this is why it's best to wait rather than trying to get ahead of it. It's best to wait for the market to show us the direction and then go with that direction. So this one here right now looking neutral. If the price breaks through the resistance, then I will look for a move back here. If not, this is overall still a bearish move here. And if it holds below the support resistance level at 0.8990, then we are looking for another leg lower. So this could just go back up here and then do another one lower. So watch out for that. So right now, overall neutral to bearish here. We'll just wait for the direction from the price here. And based on that, we'll take a look at it on the daily. Right now, neutral bias for dollar Swiss franc. Pound yen here looking bearish, and as we can see, price has dropped here. We have a nice bearish engulfing candle close, which points to a lower price. The only concern here again will be all the uncertainty around Brexit, but from the technical perspective, this is looking bearish. I would look for a bit of a pullback perhaps, and then a further move to the downside here. So bias is bearish. 134.30 is the target to the downside. So bearish bias for pound yen. Euro yen here, it's been consolidating sideways here. It is into this resistance, but as we can see, it's holding above the support level. It hasn't actually gone through this support level, but on the weekly, if we pull back a bit, as we can see, price is into resistance. So it's right into this resistance level, similar to this here. If it holds, we are looking for a move to the downside here. So bias is bearish, just with caution though, because if you take a look on the daily, it is holding. And when it holds, it can continue through. So we need to give it a little bit of time to find the direction here. But based on this one, I would say we could see there is room for a drop. Just back here as well, we had a similar thing. So bearish bias 125.20 is the first target, and then 124.20 is the second target. But I would suggest just wait a bit and look at the daily here. So bearish bias here. Dollar yen here, this one's trading sideways. It's been stuck in this. This is the daily chart here. It's stuck here sideways and hasn't really been able to do much. So bearish bias here. I will look for a move back towards the support. 103.65 is the target. So bearish bias for dollar yen. Aussie yen here, this one is going higher. As we can see, it's looking bullish here on the weekly. It's right into the resistance though, so that's something to watch out for. If it doesn't go through, looks like it wants to push through. It's looking fairly strong here, so bias is bullish, but just be cautious here. It's right into the resistance. So next target, once it goes through, would be 79.50 and then 80.65. So bullish bias for Aussie, just with caution. New Zealand here as well. This one is also holding. It's been consolidating sideways here for the entire week, but it's holding the support. And when it holds the support, just like it held the support here, then it made another leg higher. It's holding the support, doesn't seem to have a similar momentum to this here, but still holding. So with this one, it is bullish bias, but I would say again with caution, because we are into support resistance level. It hasn't managed to break through the resistance from the previous week. And if it doesn't, which means we could see a turnaround. So right now, I would say bullish with caution. Next target here is 74.65 and then 76. So bullish bias, but with caution. CAD yen here, this one as well. See how it's consolidating above the support level, and the longer it consolidates above, the higher the chances that it's going to go through. On the weekly basis, what we see here is we have an indecision candle. Price is into important support resistance level here, and then we have if we don't see a break through this, we are likely to see a drop back down. So bias right now is neutral, and we may get a drop. So this shows rejection, so we may get a drop like that. So I will watch out for that. So neutral bias for the time being. All right, so a lot of these pairs trading within their ranges. This is also stuck in a range. This is the overall range it's been trading in since May of this year. So it's still trading in that range. All right, so now let's jump to our commodities. We'll start off with silver here. Silver has been range bound as well, as we can see. Big range it's been trading in overall, still in the middle of that range. We saw a bit of a rejection here, but right now we have been sideways. So looking at the weekly here, we have another neutral candle, no clear direction for silver here. So again, neutral bias. If it breaks through the support, I'm looking for it to go lower all the way into the bottom of the range. If it breaks through the resistance, we're looking for it to go into the top of the range. So right now, no clear direction. I'm just going to leave these support resistance levels here and we'll revisit them during our daily analysis. So neutral bias for silver. Gold here, similarly, it seems to be stuck. As we can see here, we have a similar candle to what we saw with a CAD yen. Prices into resistance, failed there. We have a doji here, which shows rejection, which means we may see a drop back into the 1762 area here. So neutral bias for gold. But if it does push through the resistance, then again, basically we're back here. For now, though, because it's holding below this resistance level, chances are it wants to go lower. So bias is bearish. 1762 is the target here. So neutral to bearish bias for silver. Oil here. Oil has been pushing higher with all the positive news that we have been seeing in regards to the vaccines being approved by many countries. We have seen this positive optimism in the market, and essentially the markets are ignoring what's happening currently, and they're just focusing on the future post the vaccination. So as a result of that, oil has also been moving higher because when the world is back to normal, oil demand is likely to go up. So this week, expect some volatility in the price of oil because of the OPEC plus talks that are going on this week. So right now, this looks neutral as well. It is again holding above the support here, which means it could go higher. So this is what we have, and neutral, completely neutral candle close. It could go all the way into 48.70, but then it may do one of these. So neutral to, still has the bullishness, so neutral to bullish bias here for oil. Copper here, copper has been very, very strong this year. Overall, it's just been one directional move. So this week here, we see it pushed even higher and it's still holding. So we do have a neutral candle close here, but it's in no way, it hasn't turned yet. So still neutral to bullish bias, as we can see that bullishness still continuing. So it's neutral for now. Still holding the bullishness. Once it breaks through the support, then we can target lower. But until then, we may just see a bit of a drop and then a continuation like it has been doing. So we could see one of these. I'd watch out for that. But for now, neutral here for copper. We'll monitor it more on the daily later. Bitcoin, I don't have the weekend numbers here, so we will watch this on the daily. Based on this previous weeks, again, things can change a lot on the weekend. It's at this point, it's struggling with this resistance. So as long as it holds below this previous resistance here, we are likely to have a bit of a drop or a sideways move. Once it blows through, though, we can get that extended move. So watch out for that. I would be watching the resistance here because we could get an extended move there. Once the dam breaks, it's just likely to shoot up. But until then, I am not looking, I'm not trying to get ahead of that. We'll wait and see. So bias here is, for the time being, slightly bearish. S&P 500, this one is at all-time highs. We have seen this positive move higher because of the comments that we've been hearing in regards to the our stimulus, my apologies, stimulus package being passed, and that has been overall bullish for the markets here. Right now, we do have a weekly bearish, but this has been for the last 5 weeks here. It's been stuck in this range. I'm not expecting it to be completely bearish at this point, just looking for a bit of a move back down towards the support, and then we're likely to see move back into the range. So this is the range it's been trading in. So looking for a move, bearish move within the range. So this is neutral to bearish here as well. Nasdaq, same thing here. We are seeing a bit of a drop. It's into all-time highs. I will look for a move towards 12,000 here. So bearish bias for Nasdaq as well. But again, not looking for it to turn around completely, just looking for a bit of a drop there. Same thing here as well. Overall, it's been pushing higher. It's still holding that support, but it's been trading in this range here again for the last 5 weeks. It's been stuck in the range. If the stimulus package gets passed, we may see a break to the upside. But until then, I'm looking for a bit of a drop here towards 29,160 here. So bias is neutral here for Dow Jones. All right, DAX here, DAX as well. Here we are. It's been overall trading in this big range here, and it's into the resistance, hasn't been able to go through. So I'm looking for a bit of a drop here. Target is 12,850. So bearish bias for DAX. FTSE here, we won't go into because my chart's not updating. And then Nikkei here, Nikkei's been sideways here for the last couple of weeks and hasn't really broken the support or the resistance. It's been stuck in the sideways range here. So at this point, I would say neutral to slightly bearish bias. We may get a move towards 25,700. But again, so markets are not really looking like they're ready to turn yet. So we'll have to just monitor it for the time being. But bias here is neutral to slightly bearish. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate your patience here with me as well. So hope you guys have a wonderful trading week, and I will be back again with the daily analysis tomorrow. Bye for now.